Hi guys. So, one of the biggest questions I get, and probably one that's even harder to answer, is how do you know that someone is a narcissist? How do you know you're dating a narcissist? How do you know you're married to a narcissist? How do you know a parent, a child, a friend is a narcissist? How do you spot them? And there's a $64 million question. Why do I say that? Because they are so clever and so good at becoming who you want them to be that you miss it. Now, even more important than how do you spot them is then what do you do about it, right? What are you supposed to do about it? A narcissist will never admit that they are wrong or that there's anything wrong with them. Now, they can become self-aware. Do they know they're narcissistic? They can become self-aware, like Sam Vankin. Sam Vankin is a well-known narcissist on YouTube who has his YouTube channel not out of the kindness of his heart to help you, but because he loves the attention, he loves the money that he's making from it. So he's more than happy to share information about narcissists. And I will leave the link in the description. I'm using a Christmas Winnie the Pooh mug this morning. How do you tell? Oh, well, there's a lot of signs actually. We just refuse to see them. The best way is to listen. Pay attention. Because 99% of the time a narcissist is going to tell you who they are. The hair flying away. They're going to tell you who they are. I remember being in the car with my narcissist once. And I told him, I said, and he was divorced. His kids didn't want to have anything to do with him. And I just thought, I don't get it. I didn't see it. Because the person I saw was opposite of what they kept saying he was. They even tried to warn me. His son one day told me, he said, "You don't know him like we do." And I didn't want to hear it. But we were in the car one day and I said, "I just don't understand your family. I don't get it. What do they see that's so bad in you?" He said, "You don't live with me." And I just kind of brushed that off. Eventually he did end up living with me, and then I did see it. But I still, even after seeing it, I chose to brush it off because I thought I was in love. I was in love with the fantasy, the fantasy world that they create. Because even once I figured out exactly, I didn't know anything about narcissism, but I knew something wasn't right. Even when I figured out something wasn't right, I had started going to therapy even before he discarded me, because I knew, and I thought it was me, and I started talking to my therapist, and I remember my therapist saying, well, he is either the perfect man or he's a very good actor. So what are some of the ways that you can recognize a narcissist? Well, we use the word abuse, but there's all types of abuse. It doesn't have to be physical abuse. But with me, there were types of physical abuse within the sexual realm. And even he himself admitted to this the night before he discarded me. Because I brought it up. I said, what you just did to me was total abuse. And he goes, you're right, it was. No explanation, no apology, nothing. Just, yep, it was. And I got up and left and went into another room, and he came after me and said, I'm sorry, just come back to bed, blah, 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 blah. Why he even wanted me to come into bed, I don't know, because I see what had happened is I had pulled his mask off. And once you pull their mask off, they're gone. Because at that point, they can't fool you anymore. Once they know that you know, the devaluing starts. They start treating you like crap. And eventually they discard you once they've completely used you up. So how do you know? Well, there's the abuse. There's all, like I said, all different types. There's the emotional, physical sometimes. But the physical abuse tends to kind of be around the sexual nature. They cheat. They cheat because they use sex as a weapon. And financial abuse is a big one. My narcissist had me quit my job 1 week before discarding me, saying, oh, you don't need to work. I'm going to take care of us, blah, 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 blah. And I already had suspicions that things were wrong. But, all right, I did it. What a mistake. So they will financially ruin you before leaving you. What reason would they have to stay with you? Once they financially ruin you and they can't get anything else out of you, you're not, unless you're giving them some type of other narcissistic supply. And that's what we call it. It's called narcissistic supply. When you're giving the narcissist what they need to fill their ego, or to take care of them in some way within their life. Let's see. So watch for those signs. Financial abuse. Do they control the purse strings? Are they bleeding you dry? Have they had you quit your job? Do they embarrass you at your job? Oh my God. My narcissist came to my job once, and the guys that were there were just cutting up and carrying on. They were using foul language, and he corrects them. I'm like, oh, dear God. No, he didn't. And the next day I went in and was like, I am so sorry, guys. And they're like, it wasn't you. We don't blame you. We get it. And they were trying to warn me at work. They're like, Dreama, why are you with him? And here's the thing. When I was with him, all I saw was this great looking guy, military, respected in his community. After the fact, I bumped into him, actually ran into him twice. And I don't know what I saw. I don't know if God let me see the true person or not. I literally saw like this frog looking person. I can't explain that. But there was one time we were in the car on the way home, and it had gotten to that point for me, and even my voice is shaking thinking about it. But I prayed and I said, God, he was driving, and I said, God, please let me look at him and see the real him. And I turned and I looked, and I am not even kidding. I saw this demon-esque face. Not joking. And I wasn't surprised to see that. It scared me, but I wasn't surprised to see that. And that was the same night kind of everything blew up. And the next day, he went to work and he didn't come home. And it's a long story that is in another one of these videos, but I tried to take my life. And I was in the hospital for a week because of it. So it is important to recognize the signs. What's even more important than knowing what a narcissist is how to get out. How to get out. but you're not going to get out until you admit to yourself that there's an issue. I have a group on Facebook, and I'll leave that. Well, that link is in the description. And there's over 11,000 people in that group on that page who benefit from sharing each other's stories, and I answer every single message to the best of my ability. And you can imagine with 11,000 people, it can be hard to keep up with, but I do try. So you're welcome to go over and follow that page. There's also a very private group, and you can join that as well. I do vet every person. I read every comment. I get rid of those that shouldn't be there. So it is a very safe group, and it is, for the most part, a very safe page, because I do try to vet everything that comes through on it. But recognizing a narcissist is important. Before you can even do anything about it, there's the financial abuse, there's the emotional abuse, which is far worse than anything else. They will tell you who they are. You just have to be willing to hear it. What you do about it after that is a really difficult question, because it depends on you and how ready you are to walk away, to protect yourself. It's even harder if you have children, if you're married. I get married folks all the time messaging me, both men and women. Look at Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. He was definitely a victim of narcissistic abuse. And it's harder for men even to be believed than women. But I believe Johnny Depp opened the door for that. So, but I get both sexes all the time messaging with me. What do they do? Telling me about their spouses. They have kids. It's harder to leave when you have kids. A narcissist will use your kids against you, and they will threaten you with the kids. They're going to take them away, or they'll make threats to you. The smear campaign. Let's talk bad about you, to everyone else, so that when the time comes that they discard you, no one is surprised. They'll just act like you're the crazy one. And they get you so messed up that sometimes you do end up acting like the crazy one, because you're like flipped out and like, I don't understand what just happened. Because your fantasy world, the bubble gets broken, and you fall, and you're like, what just happened? So it's very important that you know what the narcissist is. And it can be hard, and I can't explain it all in one video. I have several videos. You can go back and look at them. I have the group, the page, and you can do your own research. But knowing who a narcissist is, if you're even questioning if you're with a narcissist, chances are they might be. But be very careful. I want to say this too. Be very careful in labeling everyone who doesn't agree with you as being a narcissist. Okay, we don't want to do that. Don't just assume everyone is a narcissist. That's easy to fall into. There are definitely specific characteristics of a narcissist, and we can get more into that. If you want to ask questions in the comment section, I will answer them to the best of my ability. All right, guys, important thing is to take care of you. Okay, look after yourself and your well-being. Have friends and family. That's the other thing. They will isolate you from friends and family. Don't let that happen. Have friends and family around you that you can count on, that you can tell things to, okay? That will support you, all right? And on that, even though there's so much more I could say, I don't want this to be real long. So I'm going to end this here. Go back and look at my other videos. Go and look at the Facebook group and the page. And I will answer your questions. Feel free to leave comments and I'll answer them the best that I can. If you ask me a question, I'll be happy to do a video to answer the questions for you personally. If you prefer a private answer, I can do that too. Okay? Just let me know in the comment section. God bless you guys. Take care of yourself, your well-being. That's got to come first. God bless. I love you all.